Sports Nation. Unleash the champion within.
Live from Boynton Beach, Florida, here in the land of the UFLX, here at Somerset Canyons, home of the Palm Beach Capos. My name is Conrad Volch here on Varsity Sports Nation, and we've got a good matchup here for you tonight as the visiting team out of South Vero Beach, the Fighting Indians, come all the way from Fort Pierce, 72-mile drive to be precise, and they take on the 0-2 Palm Beach Capos. It's going to be a fun one here as both teams get ready to kick off. The Fighting Indians have won the toss. They have deferred to the second half. So the Capos will get their turn first on offense as the Fighting Indians try to pin this team deep. Kick is off, and it will be, take a slight bounce, takes a second to get into the end zone, but that will be a touchback to start the game as the Capos will do battle from the, see where they spot it. Looks like it's going to be at the 25. But as we said, coming into today, South Vero Beach Fighting Indians 2-0 on the season with wins against the Fort Pierce Bengals. That was a 3-2 victory back on February 7th. And most recently last week on Valentine's Day, they took down the Florida Marines 22-10. Score was 12-10 at one point, and they pulled away at the end to take home the victory. Capos start it from their own 25. That'll go up the middle. And, oh, wait, that's going to be a turnover. So one first play from scrimmage, and that's going to be a turnover. The ball was fumbled. I believe getting on that first was Jonathan Tucker. And that's a quick, sudden change here in this Week 3 matchup for the UFLX. We talked to both of these coaches, and Coach Bargerstock said that they needed to clean up some things on their offense and their special teams. They love their defense and what they can bring to the table, but that is not something you want to see one play into the game. So the Fighting Indians will start off here, run up the middle. Not too much there. That ball was carried there by number 10 of Tony Dobbs. Fighting Indians in that white jerseys, black helmets, and red lettering. Palm Beach Capos in the gold jerseys with white lettering and the black helmets. So the Fighting Indians will have it 2nd and 9 from the Capo 22-yard line. Quarterback for the Fighting Indians is Ashton Hauser. Wide doubles here for the Fighting Indians. Hauser trying to find a man down around the 10. Can't find him. So that'll bring up 3rd and 9 here for South Vero Beach. In 24 teams in this UFLX 2026 season, 23 of them are in the state of Florida. One singular team is in the state of Georgia. Very Florida-heavy football league. In a league that is said to give the average man a chance in this beautiful game of football. Hauser, back to pass for the Indians. Was in some trouble, and they were looking for their man. That was Tyrek Thompson, and he drops it immediately, taps his helmet, says, "My bad, that is on me." So after the one-play fumble, looks like the Capos will not give up too much here, which is a huge blessing. Again, they are known for their defense. Looks like they're going to kick the field goal. So not too many teams kicking field goals in this league. At least I think they're going for the field goal. They might be going for it here. And their kicker is Duverson Paulus, number 0. He was kicking in warm-ups. Has a deep enough leg. He'll be kicking from the 29, so that'll set up about a 39-yard kick to start things up. 13:48 left here in this first quarter. Snap is down, kick is up, and it is no good. So the Capos catch a huge break here in the opening couple series between these two teams. And after coming up with a huge play, first play of the game on defense for the Fighting Indians, they come up empty. So it'll be like, honestly, it'll just be like nothing happened for the Capos. And they'll take over from their own 20. They'll spot it at the 22, 23-yard line. 13:41 to go here in this first quarter. Trips out left here for the Capos. Tyler Kelly in at quarterback. Coach Bargerstock spoke very highly of him. 18 years of age. One of the youngest guys in this UFLX league. Says he's a young kid playing with grown men. Ball is carried up to about the 21. That's by number 6 of Michael Mobley. So little to no gain on the play there for the Capos. As the Coach Bargerstock also told us that this is the first game of the season in which he has had an entire starting offensive line. He's missing his center first couple games of the season, so very happy to have everybody back. This ball is carried around the corner, trying to find some space. That's going to come up to around the 28, 29-yard line. Clock still is going. That's up, going to be third and about 1.5. Capos trying to get that run established and control the clock. I believe that was Michael Mobley once again on that carry. This brings up a third and very much manageable 2 here. They need the 31. Ball is at the 29. See what Tyler Kelly has in his bag. He'll decide to hand it off again. This time breaking to the left side. I think he got up to the 31. We'll see where they mark it. It's going to be at the 32. There's that ref hand. And they'll move those chains. 1st and 10 for the Capos. Sometimes if the guy's got the hot hand, give him the ball early and often. That's kind of what we're seeing on this drive here for the Capos. It's been the Anthony Bradley show here on this second drive for Palm Beach. Again, Palm Beach, the team in gold. The Fighting Indians in the white and red. This time thrown. Oh, it's a one-handed pulled in catch. Wrestle around the 35 for about a 3-yard gain. That's getting the sideline fired up there. But we got a flag down. See what the penalty marker is. That catch was hauled in there by William Hamilton. What a way to stay focused on that catch. We'll see what the white hat says is the call here. Clock will stop, 11:14 to go here in the first quarter. Still no signal. Again, both teams lined up waiting for a play to be called. And there was a flag down by the Capos sideline. So I'm not sure if it was maybe offensive pass interference or offensive holding. We don't know what the call is. We're still waiting as they're walking back over towards the South Vero Beach Fighting Indians sideline. Trying to get the chains organized, it looks like here. So I'm wondering, all right, I guess there was no penalty. They were just trying to get the chain gang organized. So the refs still talking amongst themselves, and we'll see what the penalty is. Again, we're waiting patiently for what the call is. I guess not. So after all that, no penalty. They just had to get the chain gang organized. And that's oh my goodness. Near disaster play there as Tyler Kelly had some butterfingers on that play, able to fall on the football. Be a loss of about 5 on the play. They'll back it up to looks like the 32, maybe 32.5-yard line. Set up second and about 14 here for the Capos. And Capos looking for their first victory of the season. Played a Miami Bulls team last week, and the Bulls dropped 40 points here. Kelly rolling to his right. Gets around the corner, up to the 35, stays in bounds. They say he stepped out. They're going to say he stepped out at the 35. So gain of about 2 yards on that run. And this will be a 3rd and 12 here for the Capos. And both of these teams trying to find their offensive identity here. Capos, this is their second drive. First one, they fumbled it on the first play of the game. Fighting Indians gained a total of 1 yard in 4 plays with a missed field goal last drive. Kelly, again, rolling to his right, will throw it near across the middle, nearly picked. Oh, it is picked off. Indians running it back to the 25-yard line, and that is an interception. So 2 claimed turnovers. That's hauled in by Jadarius Sanders. And the Capo defense will have to go back out on the field to defend the end zone. And Tyler Kelly tried to throw it across the middle into traffic. Looked like he had a man across the middle, but Sanders jumped it and said, not so fast. 9:10 to play here in this first quarter. This time it's a run. Up to about the 23. Carried there by number 5 of Elijah Hadley. Gain of about 2, 2nd and 8 from the 23. In this Fighting Indian team, last week they Went to the red zone 6 times. We're only able to put it in the end zone twice. Trying to change that here tonight. Hauser in trouble. Throws it across the middle. It's caught! Into the 5. Touchdown! Fighting Indians! And after not able to get into the end zone, they find it. However, or no, that's not a penalty marker. That's just the yellow line. That was caught by Tarek Thompson. So if you remember that last drive, they were trying to throw it across the middle to him for a potential first down. He dropped it, patted himself on the helmet, said, hey, that's on me, and follows it up very next drive with a touchdown. So 6-0 Fighting Indians with 8:20 to go here in the first quarter. Again, this league emulates NFL rules as close as possible. The only two that stand out the most is that there's no instant replay and there's no challenges. Pretty much everything else is all NFL. And they do that on purpose. Try to get these guys as seasoned as possible for whenever the NFL team comes calling. Got some movement up front on that left side of the line. It's going to be an offsides penalty on the Capos. So they'll move the football up 5 yards. That'll make it an easier point after here for Doverson Paulus. Again, 0 for 1 on kicks today. Missed a 39-yard field goal earlier. Capos thought that the center moved. This is up, and it is good. So again, we don't normally see kicking in this league, at least throughout the first couple of weeks, but the Fighting Indians have a kicker, and they're using him. And it's 7-0. Fighting Indians over the Capos with 8:20 to go here in this first quarter. They'll line it up and kick it off back to the Capos. Mentioned we talked to both coaches. Talked to Coach EJ. EJ Pryor III, head coach for the South Vero Beach Fighting Indians, and he said the biggest key of this game is they need to contain Tyler Kelly. He said he's a very shifty quarterback, and once he gets in space, he is very hard to bring down. He said that is their biggest thing. They were able to do that, kind of force some errant throws last drive by Kelly. And that set up the short field, and they were able to get it in the end zone. And that is kicked off deep. That's going to roll around the 7 and fielded right up to the 10. That was hauled in there by Lakevius Simmons. So far the Fighting Indians have been finding their groove here against the Capos here in this first quarter. 7:56 to go. And again, Coach Bargerstock said that this was the best week of the season mental-wise. They said they had the best mental week out of the entire season. Also said brought in some guys as well from last week to this week. Feels like this team is starting to turn the corner. They just got to be more consistent on offense and special teams, but he loves his defense. Trying to run it up the middle there. are the Capos. Again, going with number 23 of Lacavius Simmons. First one there was Jadarius Sanders. Sanders has that interception on that last drive for the Fighting Indians. But we saw the Michael Mobley was really getting things going in the run game on that last drive for the Capos. But again, still early in the game for both of these teams. Wide doubles here for the Capos. Kelly takes the low snap, kind of fishing towards his left, cuts it up to the middle, still going. Takes about two different Fighting Indians to bring him down. And the ball will be spotted at the 20. First one there for the Fighting Indians was big number 52, Mikhail Bryanville. So that's enough for a first down for the Capos. 1st and 10 from the 20. And trying to keep this game as evenly matched as they can. They've got the defense, just trying to click on offense. Kelly hands the ball off to his man. Another healthy gain of about 3 to 4 yards, up to about the 24-yard line. So this will set up 2nd and 7. .5:55 to go here in this first quarter. So relatively fast-moving quarter, all things considered. It's a quick toss, and not a lot there. Good contain by the Fighting Indians. Like they were trying to get it over to Zay Towns, number 8. Gains maybe a half a yard. But Terrius Jordan and Mikhail Bryanville were the first two to get there. Keeping contain on the right side of the line for the Fighting Indians. Sets up 3rd and 7. Kelly takes the low snap, throws across the right side. It's caught out of the air across the 30 and unable to break free was the Capos receiver. Oh, no, wait a minute. That is a first down. He needed the 30. He got the 31. I apologize. Big catch there for the Capos. Zay Towns, number 8, doing it on catching duty. And it's a first down. So clock continues to move down to just above 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Kelly takes the low snap, quick handoff to his running back, up the middle, across the 40. Trying to stay on his feet. He'll break it underneath down to midfield, and he's finally shoved out of bounds on the Fighting Indian side of the field. No flags. Big run here. Michael Mobley says, "This is my show." And the Capos make it across midfield for the first time today. We got a flag in the defensive backfield. See what the verdict is there. Looks like it's going to be on the Capos potentially. They're walking over to the Fighting Indian side of the field. Again, clock stops, 3:55 to play here in the first quarter, as everyone trying to get things organized here. Also wondering if it was it's a personal foul. So it looks like it was a personal foul on each side. So offsetting penalties. It happened after the first down was picked up. So it will be 1st and 10 Capos from the Fighting Indian 48-yard line. Kelly, designed quarterback run around the right side up to the 45. He'll scamper down to the 41. Close to another Capo first down. This will set up 2nd and about 3. Again, good response here from the Capos. Gave up a touchdown on a short field. Fighting Indians really haven't had to drive the length of the field, at least in this first half yet. They've had 2 short fields. One was a missed field goal. The other one was a a touchdown and a converted extra point. Another handoff. Oh, met in that backfield. Nowhere to go for Mobley. Jamal Sweet. Vernon Medler comes in there and says, yeah, you're not going anywhere today. Loss of 4 brings up 3rd and 6 here for the Capos. Hear the echo of money down throughout the stadium here tonight. Kelly, back to pass. Rolling to his right, in trouble, he'll go down. Big sack all the way back to the Capo 44-yard line. That was number 3 of Eddie Bell. And the Capos will be forced to punt. Punting is Jerome Russell. So what looked to be a promising drive here for the Capos ends in a 4th down and about 17 yards. 1 deep man for the Fighting Indians. Speedy Knowles Jr. is back there. Snap is low. Kick makes it away. Bounces at the 35. Took a mini Indian bounce. And that'll be down at about the Fighting Indian 36-yard line. So exactly 1 minute to go here in this first quarter. And this will be the deepest that the Fighting Indians have started a drive here in this first half. Both of their opening drive and their second drive both started inside the Capo 30-yard line. So Hauser hands it off to his man up the middle. Huge run to start up to the 45-yard line. That was Sircoy Gray on the carry for the Fighting Indians. The last couple plays of this first quarter as we're down to 40 ticks to go. Wide doubles here for the Fighting Indians. Hauser's got many options. Hauser takes the low snap, has to take it himself up the middle. He'll gain 1, maybe 2 yards up to the 47. They're going to say just a yard, mark it at the 46. Looked like it was a busted play from the start because of that low snap. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter. So we've seen the first 15 minutes come and go. And the South Vero Beach Fighting Indians lead the Palm Beach Capos, by a score of 7-0. We'll take a quick break. When we return here on Varsity Sports Nation, second quarter action. Please do not go too far. We welcome you back into Varsity Sports Nation here in the land of Boynton Beach, Florida, here at Somerset Canyon's campus, as the Palm Beach Capos looking for their first victory of the season, and the South Vero Beach Fighting Indians trying to stay undefeated as they came into this game 2-0. So out of the quarter timeout, 2nd and 9 here for the Fighting Indians. Hauser takes the snap, throws it across the middle. He's got a man, but he dropped it. They were looking for Antonio Green Jr., number 9. It's like the second big drop we've seen from this Fighting Indian wide receiver core here in the first half. But at least from the small sample size we've seen in this first half, the memory is short for this Fighting Indian offense. 14:55 to play here in this second quarter. 3rd and 9. Line to gain is the Capo 45. Hauser throws it across. That ball is caught, and receiver is free across the 50, 45, dragged down around the 42. No flags, and that's enough for a Fighting Indian first down. What a play. Sir Coy Gray with the big grab for South Vero Beach. But how about Hauser finding him under duress and keeping the drive moving here for the Fighting Indians? So 1st and 10 from the Capo 43. Hauser back to pass again. He's going to go deep. Does he have a man? It's fought for. What's the call? It's still being fought for. And it's intercepted. It's intercepted by the Capos. Or at least for the moment it is. See what the white hat says. Looks like it's intentional, or no, roughing the passer, it looks like. That's a big call here for this Fighting Indian offense, even more backbreaking for this Capo defense, because that was going to be a pick for Lamar Brewster. But because of the roughing the passer, the drive will be still alive here for the Fighting Indians. So tough break here for the Palm Beach Capos. And the ball will be spotted at the Capo 29-yard line. So just when the Capos looked like they were going to keep this at a 7-point game, They will have to stay on the field on defense just a tad bit longer here. So here we go. And Hauser bailed out by that penalty. Got two men on either side, hands it off to his running back. Big run here up to the 20, into the red zone, down to the 16. Sir Coy Gray, he's catching things and running. And that's another first down for the Fighting Indians. They mark it at the 17. Capos trying to make some substitutions. Uh-oh. Two penalty markers have flown in. No Fighting Indians in sight, so it looks like this is going to be on the defense for the Capos. Not sure if it was something that was said or what have you, but and we'll see what the white hat comes up with. It's going to be a personal foul on both sides. So again, this is the second time we've seen a offsetting penalties for personal fouls. So again, I'm not sure what was said, but there was some talking down around where the referees were, and then two refs on cue threw a flag up in the air. So again, not too sure what was said, but after that was all said and done, just a simple offsetting personal foul penalties. Under 13 to play here in the second quarter. Hauser taking the snap. Another handoff. This time, first one there on defense was number 9 of Giovanni Joseph for the Capos. Limited the gain there for Sir Coy Gray. Gain of about 3 up to the 15-yard line. So the Fighting Indians in the red zone. And this is the longest drive of the game for the Fighting Indians. And they had their first two drives start by benefit of turnovers. One was a fumble and the other was a pick. Hauser throws it to the left. Dangerous throw. And defense is very hyped on that one. They were trying to go there for Elijah Hadley. And this will bring up third down. So clock stops, 11:53 to play here in this second quarter. In Fighting Indians, thought they had thrown an interception, got bailed out by a roughing the passer call. That is why this drive is still continuing. Clock time continues to come off the clock, and they're trying to go up by 2 scores. Hauser throws it high into the air, trying to go to the corner. And is that caught? No, it's not. Looked close from our vantage point. Hadley pleading his case, saying he caught it. But it'll bring up fourth down for the Fighting Indians. And they'll attempt a field goal. So Lamar Brewster on the defense, able to prevent the touchdown. And the Fighting Indians will come out for the field goal attempt. So second field goal attempt of the evening. First one was from 39 yards. That one was no good. This one will be, see where the holder puts his knee down. Elijah Hadley also doubles as the long snapper. Holder is Speedy Knowles Jr. Again, once again, the kicker is Duverson Paulus. So Fighting Indians trying to go up by 2 possessions. Everybody's trying to get organized here on defense. So the holder will put his knee down around the 21-yard line. This will be a 31-yard try here for the Fighting Indians. Snap is down, kick is up, and it is no good. So 2 field goal tries, both missed. And this stays a 7-point game here between the Fighting Indians and the Capos. So if you're wondering, you know, what is a capo? Because I've never heard of that. Well, I'll tell you. A capo is another version is a godfather. It's a mafia term. It's used mainly by the media, the public, and fiction writers and the law enforcement community to indicate a supremely powerful crime boss in the Sicilian or American mafia. And I was talking to Coach Bargerstock, and he mentioned, I wanted to name the team something different. You hear the teams called the Tigers or the Lions or any other type of name. He wanted to be different, and that is how he came up with the name. Bargerstock, the owner and the head coach of this Capos team. It's really cool because, you know, team names do tell a story. So that is how the Capos got their name. Kelly, quick pass, screen, and that's dropped. And they're going to say it's incomplete. Fighting Indians were playing it as if it was a backwards pass, but it was clearly forward there. Pass was intended for Bamigbola Ademi, excuse me. I apologize if I butcher that name. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Capos. And the Capos feel very confident with their defensive core, just trying to find some life here on the offense and clean up some things on special teams. Coach Bargerstock taking over play calling last week against the Bulls. Kelly throws it down the field, and pass is incomplete. This will bring up 3rd down, so quick drive so far if they cannot convert here. Clock stops, 11:11 left here in the 2nd quarter. That was the thing we saw with this Capos team last week against the Miami Bulls. They kept it close in the early stages until the Bulls started pulling away. But then the offense woke up in that second half before the Bulls kind of tied it down and finished the job. Kelly back to pass, trying to get free around that right side. In trouble, and just has to throw it away. So he was way outside the pocket, so no penalty, no potential penalty there for intentional grounding. I don't know why that took me so long to think of that term, but as is life. So that'll be a punt, set up a punt here. Again, punting once more is Jerome Russell, number 19, for the Capos. There'll be 2 deep men here for the Fighting Indians. Speedy Knowles Jr. on that right side. And that's a bad snap going towards the end zone. Who's going to get it? And it's going to be recovered at the 1. So the Fighting Indians will have perfect field position to start this next drive. And the ball kind of rolled back to the punter. And the Avalanche starting to fall down the mountain here. 10:53 to play here in the second quarter. First and goal from about the yard and a half line. This will be a Wildcat. They'll snap it to their running back, and good defensive stop there. Loss of 4 on the play. They tried to do a little trickery there. And they had their running back, Sercoy Gray, lined up in the shotgun. But the Capo defense not fooled at all. So this will set up second and goal from the 5. As Ashton Hauser comes back out there for the Fighting Indians. Hauser hands it off. And another good defensive play here for the Capos. Tony Dobbs nowhere to go for the Fighting Indians, and just like that, it's third and goal. And just a reminder, the Fighting Indians are 0 for 2 on field goal tries. Now, granted, both of them were over 30 yards. But if the Capos can get into a position to force a field goal, that should help that. Well, we've got a timeout on the field called by the Fighting Indians. We'll take it with them. 9:26 to play here in the second quarter. Still 7-0. Fighting Indians over the Capos. We'll be right back here on Varsity Sports Nation. Welcome back to Varsity Sports Nation here in Boynton Beach, Florida. South Vero Beach Fighting Indians knocking on the door, third and goal from the 5. This drive started at the Capo 1-yard line. Hauser throws it, caught, touchdown! No, he dropped it. That fooled me. I thought he had it. They were trying to go for Hadley. He was wide open in the end zone. And the Fighting Indians come up empty again. Again, they mentioned 6 red zone trips last game against the Bereans. Only 2 end zone, or pay dirts, I should say. Got to pay dirt. So another time coming up empty here for the Fighting Indians. And Again, 0 for 2 on field goals. This one will be a 26-yard try. Snap is down, kick is up, and it is good. So that'll be a 2-score game as the Indians finally convert a field goal. 10-0 is your score with 9:15 to play here in the first half. And you have to think this Capo defense is so lethal. We saw them in their game against the Orlando Jets for the Kickoff Classic. We saw them last week in many stages against the Bulls. Again, the score says 40-14 again when they played the Miami Bulls last week, but if you were to see it here in person, I mean, the score did not tell the whole story. It just didn't. I mean, the Capo defense showed so many flashes, and they are so lethal. But they're just trying to wake up this offense. You feel that fire is going to be coming soon. It's just they haven't been able to pour any starting fluid on it. Fighting Indians were missing a guy on the kickoff team. Now they've got everybody. 2 deep men here for the Capos. So big break there for the Capo defense as that was a dropped touchdown in the end zone. Like I said, fooled me. I thought he caught it. And that kick goes past the return man. Fielded at the 5, trying to get free. And they'll run it back to the 14. So another mistake there for the Capos. That was fielded there by, I believe that was Michael Mobley. So another drive here for the Capos. Check that. They'll mark it at the 15. And we've got an injured player down for the Fighting Indians. We'll take a quick break here on Varsity Sports Nation. Injured player down for the Fighting Indians. Don't go too far. Welcome back to Varsity Sports Nation. Injured player for the Fighting Indians was number 27 of Arthur Brown Jr., the safety. He was able to get up and is okay. Not sure if he caught a cramp or if he might have had something with his leg. Refs are trying to get the clock to move. There we go. Quick handoff here for the Capos. Not a whole lot there. Ball was carried there by number 12 of Emmanuel Badillo, the big fullback. Capos only 4 first downs in this first half. All things considered, the fact that this is only a 10-0 game, credit to their defense. Tyler Kelly, second down, handoff to Badillo again. Extra movement after the whistles. Healthy run, makes it a 3rd and manageable, 3rd and about 3.5 for this Capo offense. Line to gain is the 26, about 25.5, 26-yard line for this Capo offense. 7:44 to go here in the second quarter. Kind of feel like if you're the Capos, this is a big drive to kind of start taking momentum back. Kelly, back to pass. Going to go across the middle and just missed his man. They had a man wide open across the 50. That was Kayshawn Curry, and they could not connect. No flags, and this will force another punt. So Jerome Russell, who's been active in this first half on the punt team, will come out to kick it away once more. And he'll send it back to Everson Paulson, who's also the kicker, and Speedy Knowles Jr. .7:25 to go. This is a high snap. It's going to go over the head of the punter into the end zone. Can they get it out? It's thrown, and it's tipped and dropped. Not a whole lot the punter could do. In the area was number 9 of Giovanni Joseph. So the punter able to run back into the end zone to get the ball and prevent the safety. And if Giovanni Joseph was able to maybe get more in position, which is asking a lot in a desperation play like that, he might have been able to scamper ahead for a first down. I'm just saying, but we'll never know. And honestly, like I said, heads-up play by Jerome Russell to be able to kind of keep his cool and try to make something out of there, because he wasn't going to get the punt off because he had a couple men in his face from that Fighting Indian punt return team. So we'll see if this Capo defense can hold true as this Fighting Indian offense trying to go up by 3 scores. That ball's in the dirt. As Ashton Hauser forced to fall on it. Seen a couple issues today from the center position for the Fighting Indians. That was another thing that was a key that Coach Pryor mentioned to us. Number 1 was containing Kelly for the Capos. Number 2, doing assignments on O-line. Tony Dobbs in the backfield for Hauser. Hauser will throw it across the side. It's caught. Still going. Up to the 10, 5, wrestled down. No, he gets in. Touchdown, Fighting Indians. There are no flags. So after dropping it in the end zone last time, Hadley catches it, runs it in, and that's a touchdown for the Fighting Indians. We've got an injured Capo down. We hope he's okay. We're going to take a quick break. Injury timeout here on Varsity Sports Nation. Don't go too far. We're back here on Varsity Sports Nation. The injured player for the Capos was number 4 of Lerone Brewster. He is up and he is going back to the sideline under his own, well, with the help of Coach Bargerstock and one of his teammates. Good sportsmanship on both sides of the ball for both of these teams. Heard some voices from the Fighting Indians side. Hey, way to get up. Good job. This will set up a 33-yard extra point here for Palouse. Kick is up, and it is good. So Palouse goes 2 for 2 on PATs, and it's 17-10. Correction, 17-0. Fighting Indians over the Capos. And these Fighting Indians get the football to start the second half. And they've just been slowly capitalizing all first half. And I mentioned on that first touchdown that was scored by Tarek Thompson, this wide receiver core for this Fighting Indian squad just has a short memory. That's all I can really say to describe it. Both guys that caught touchdowns for the Fighting Indians had big drops and went back the following drive to catch a touchdown. So 6:20 to play here in the second quarter. See how the Capos fare on this kick return opportunity here. Kickoff team for the Fighting Indians getting organized. Kick is up and deep. Better move there by the Capos, fielded at the 15-yard line. And that's a heavy hit at the end there. Fielded there by number 24 of Gentaris Oliver. And we'll see what's in the bag of tricks here for the Palm Beach Capos offense, as they'll start 1st and 10 from, it looks like, the 28-yard line. Down 17-0, 6:12 to play here in the second quarter. So we mentioned earlier how they've, on that last drive where they only had 4 first downs the entire first half, only got 1 completed pass the entire first half, too. Kelly rolling to his right, in trouble. Dump off there. That's the second completed pass of the first half. It's going to be for a loss of 3. Toss was to Terry Taylor, number 37. It's going to bring up 2nd and 13 for the Capos. And Coach Bargerstock mentioned this was had some high hopes for today's game with all his regular starting O-linemen. But they're just like anything, just trying to get used to everything. They're trying to find their fire here in the tail end of this first half. Capos in hurry up now. 3rd down and 9. And it looks like there's going to be a late timeout call. See what the call is. I think the defensive line was able to get a timeout in, and they do. So second charge timeout to the South Vero Beach Fighting Indians. We'll take it with them when we return. 5:11 to go here in this second quarter. 17-0. Fighting Indians over the Capos. Welcome back to Varsity Sports Nation here in Boynton Beach, Florida. 5:11 to go here in this second quarter, and check that. It was a timeout. Capos. Third down, Kelly. Quick pass. Intercepted! Going the other way is the Fighting Indians. Can they get there? Yes, they can! No flag! Oh, there is a flag at the 30. So we'll see what the call is. As it stands, it is a pick six. John Scott with the pick, number 20. But it looks like it's going to be a penalty on the defense. And I'm not sure if it was on the return or if it was before the ball was picked off. Touchdown looks like it's waved off the board. So the Fighting Indians will come out on offense, and it's going to be a illegal block in the back on the Fighting Indians. So they will keep the ball. That's the third turnover. Third turnover of the first half. Actually, I think that was the fourth turnover, actually. 2 fumbles and 2 interceptions. And with the penalty, the Fighting Indians will take it from the Capo 40. 4:58 to play here in this second quarter. And the Fighting Indians trying to add to their lead. Hauser in shotgun. Dobbs back to pass, whistle before the snap. Flag is down. It's going to be a false start on the Fighting Indians. I believe if my memory serves correctly, that's the first false start penalty on this Fighting Indians squad. But huge break for this Capos team. Keeps this a 17-0 game. Because if that pick six would have stood, it would have been 23-0. And the Fighting Indians going out there for a point after try. Hauser hands it off. Running back, big, strong run, getting that penalty yardage back up to about the 41. Tony Dobbs, the grown man run. One of their bigger running backs in that backfield for the team in white. Gets 4 of the 5 penalty yards back. 2nd and 11 from the 41. Line to gain is the Capo 30. Fighting Indians are in no hurry. Hauser, left side throw. We're looking for Elijah Hadley. You see the passion and the emotion that these Fighting Indians players play with, and he wanted that play back. He felt like he should have had it. So clock will stop, 4:05 to play in the second quarter. Each team with 2 timeouts left, 3rd and 11. Clock stops at the 2-minute warning as well. Hauser throws it deep, got a man down there, and incomplete. On the coverage for the Capos was number 6 of Anthony Bradley. Coach Bargerstock spoke very highly of Bradley. Played for him in previous seasons on this Capo team. And this will set up 4th down for the Fighting Indians. So huge break for this Capo defense. Again, this defense has been keeping them in this football game. It looks like the kicker is out there for the Fighting Indians. Not sure if they're going to kick it. I'm not sure if they're going to punt it or kick it. It looks like this is going to be a punt. So Duverson Paulus out to punt the football. First punt of the game for the Fighting Indians. One deep man for the Capos. 3:57 to play. High snap. No, it's a fake! And a huge hit at the 40. Oh, my. Flying in to make the stop was number 99 of Antonio Allen. He says, "You are not getting past this line," and he meant it. So Paulus had a head of steam, only able to gain a yard. Fell about 10 yards short of a first down. And a huge break for this Capo team. 3:49 to play, 2 timeouts, and the 2-minute warning. Still plenty of time to cut into this lead before halftime. Trips out right for Kelly. Hands off up the middle. Ball was carried by number 0 of Khalil Owens. And still haven't seen Michael Mobley too much since that first quarter. They've been rotating through the running backs and fullbacks. It's the 7th different running back to have at least 1 carry, including the quarterback. And another huge run. Huge flex from the O-line as well. Back-to-back carries for Khalil Owens. That was big number 72, Vidal Bolanos. Also listed as a D tackle as well. As this Capo offense starting to come alive here as they're in their form of hurry-up. Another handoff to Owens. This time, not a whole lot of where to go. Oh, the pile's still moving. Still going. Oh, my goodness. I thought for sure it was going to be maybe a yard, but those legs kept churning. Got some extracurriculars after the play. Here comes a penalty marker. See number 34, Jonathan Tucker, trying to speak some life into this run defense of the Fighting Indians. Coach Pryor spoke very highly of him. He's one of the head honchos on this defense. Again, clock stops, 2:15 to play here in the second quarter. There is a flag down at the 42-yard line. And I don't know if this is going to be offsetting penalties or what's going on here, but they pick up, or no, it's going to be a first down. So this is a defensive penalty for an unsportsmanlike conduct. So whatever was said or whatever happened after that play was too much on the discretion of the referees. So the Capos with their best drive of the game. Another handoff. Met at the 24-yard line. Owens, and that will be the 2-minute warning. So the offense starting to get some swagger here towards the tail end of the second quarter. We'll take a quick break on Varsity Sports Nation. When we return, final 2 minutes here of the first half between the South Vero Beach Fighting Indians and the Palm Beach Capos. Don't go too far. Welcome back to Varsity Sports Nation UFLX Saturday football here in Boynton Beach, Florida. Once again, my name is Conrad Volch. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. The Palm Beach Capos trying to get in the end zone for the first time this evening to cut this lead down to at least 11 before the end of the half. Kelly, some trickery here. He'll run across the right side down to the 26. So loss of 1 on the play for the Capos. Check that, loss of 2. This will bring up a 3rd and 11. And some feistiness on the field between these two teams. Saw our first unsportsmanlike penalty. Clock stopped, 1:52 to play here in the first half. Wide doubles here. Kelly back to pass. Moving to the left. Penalty flag is down. This might be coming back. Kelly runs it out of bounds around the 14-yard line. But it's going to be holding. So they called holding, but they didn't point to either side. I'm assuming it's going to be for the Capos. And it is holding on the offense. So back-breaking penalty here for the Capos. Ball will be spotted at the 36-yard line. Line to gain is the 16. So 3rd down and 20 here for the Capos. Had a promising drive, moving, and then just has been going backwards. .125 to play here in the second quarter. Kelly, back to pass, across the right, caught, across the 30, dragged down to about the 27. That was caught there by Zayd Towns, number 8. Just heard someone say call field goal. I'm not sure if that was the Capos sideline. Might have also been the Fighting Indians defense. But in the Fighting Indians, been the only team to attempt field goals. They're 1 for 2. Missed the first 2, over 30 yards, made the 3rd one at 26. And this will be wide doubles, 4th down and 12. Kelly will throw it deep down the right, got a man open, and is it good? No! Oh my goodness! I thought he had both feet in bounds. They're going to say no good. Kayshawn Curry. And the Capos come up empty. You had a man in the end zone. Nobody within at least 6 yards of him. And the score stays at 17-0. South Vero Beach. 24 seconds to play here in this first half. We'll see what the Fighting Indians decide to do with their time. They've got 2 timeouts. 24 seconds and 2 timeouts you would think is plenty of time to at least get into field goal range. So we'll see what comes from the arm of Ashton Hauser. They'll keep it on the ground. It's breaking the right side, trying to get out of bounds. And the running back gets there. That's number 6. Number 6 of Jamonte Hunter. And most importantly, oh no, they're going to roll the clock. So I thought that was going to stop the clock. It does not. And that is how the first half will end. So we've got triple zeros on the scoreboard. First half is come and gone. We've seen 30 minutes of football. It is 17-0 South Vero Beach over Palm Beach. We'll take a break for halftime, and we will be right back here on Varsity Sports Nation, here to bring you the second half. We cannot wait. 17-0 Fighting Indians over the Capos. Welcome back to Varsity Sports Nation. Second half action here between the South Vero Beach Fighting Indians and the home team on the scoreboard, the Palm Beach Capos. Again, the Fighting Indians won the toss. They deferred to the second half. Got a new kicker for the Capos. Number 72 of Vidal Bolanos. Kind of a Swiss Army knife of this team. Plays O&D line. Come out to kick the second half kickoff. Looks like the Capos trying to get organized on kickoff. So here we go. Two deep men for the Fighting Indians. This will be the second half kickoff. Fresh 15 on the board for the third quarter. Good flipping kick down to the 18-yard line. Should I say good end-over-end kick. And the run back will stop at about the 31-yard line. I believe that was number 26 of Cameron Pollard Martin on the return. And that is where the Fighting Indians will start this second half. They spot the football at the actually spotted at the 33. In 17-0, Fighting Indians over the Capos. Trying to add to that lead here in the second half. Both touchdowns have been passing touchdowns for the Fighting Indians. And we got a fumble. Ball is on the ground. Who has it? And it's going to be the Capos. It's going to be the Capos. So how about that? The first play from scrimmage in both the first half and the second half has been a fumble recovery. The first one was when the Fighting Indians had a fumble recovery against the Capos. Now it's the other way around. Tracy Bean, the defensive end for the Capos, number 1, with the recovery. And that's a big start to this second half. The sideline is energized. And back out in the backfield is Michael Mobley. Haven't called his name too much since the end of the first quarter. They'll hand it off. No, actually, this will be a quarterback keeper. And he'll get up to the 30. About a 2-yard gain for the Capos. And it'll be second and about 8. And if you're the Capos, you have to capitalize on this drive no matter what. You need points, as this Fighting Indians offense has been stifling. Haven't put the ball in the end zone every time, but they have been milking that clock. Mobley up to the 20, nearly broke free, down to the 19. Move those chains, 1st and 10 for Palm Beach. Mobley has the most rushing yards of any Capo player tonight. 7 different men have at least 1 carry, including the quarterback. Two receivers out left and right. This time they'll pass it, screen across to the right side, across the 15. Dragged around the 12-yard line. It's caught there by number 5 of Kayshawn Curry. Bring up 2nd and 4, 6-yard gain on the play for the Capos. And the theme of this game, at least on the Fighting Indian side, has been turnovers and capitalizing. And if the Capos can capitalize here, this would be a big turnaround pass over to the 10, and the ball comes out. No, it doesn't. That's a helmet. Sorry. I thought that was a ball. That was caught there by number 7 of Bemigbola Adiami. And a helmet comes off of one of the Fighting Indians. And this will set up 1st and goal from the 5 for the Capos. The swagger is starting to come back here for the home squad. Wide doubles here for the Capos. Hand off to Mobley. And he gets up to about the 4. Player slow to get up on that old line was Denovio Carroll. He was able to get up after a breather. 2nd and goal for the Capos. 17-0 Fighting Indians, trying to keep that lead. Kelly with it. Can't go anywhere. And finally they blow it dead. First one to get there for the Fighting Indians was big number 34 of Jonathan Tucker. Javonta Reed was also there. Kind of seen the theme of both of these teams. Bend, don't break defense in the red zone. It's worked out more successfully for the Fighting Indian defense. But this Capos team, 3rd and goal from the 6. Kelly, back to pass, rolling to his left, trying to get free, tosses it in the air, and incomplete. Looks like it went off of 4 different sets of hands. And that'll bring up 4th down. Capos will go for it. Fourth and goal from just beyond the 5. 10:25 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Again, first play from scrimmage after the kickoff was a fumble. That is how the Capos set up excellent field position. Kelly rolling to his right, to the corner, caught, touchdown! Touchdown, Capos! And it's 17-6. Mr. Kayshawn Curry with the touchdown. And it's an 11-point game. (17-6). Again, touchdown was caught by Kayshawn Curry. And it looks like they're going to go for the 1-point try. We've got a penalty marker down. I'm wondering if it's for delay a game. So you hear the call from the Capos sideline. They're going to go for, they're calling for PAT field goal. So out there to kick it is number 72, Vidal Bolanos. At least he's out there. Yes, he is. So he kicked the second half kickoff. He'll go out there to kick the point after. try to cut this down to 10 points. So after the penalty, this will be about a 32-yard extra point. Snap is down, kick is up, and it is no good. So they do not convert on the PAT, but most importantly, they score. So points off turnover is going to be, it's been the story of this game. The Fighting Indians have done their job for the most part. Had a couple times they couldn't punch it in the end zone, but this Capos squad capitalizes off the early turnover in the second half. Again, both first play from scrimmage after the kickoff in the first half, and now the second half has been a fumble recovered by the defense. So Bolanos out to kick the kickoff for the Capos. Two deep men for the Fighting Indians, 17-6, 10-16 to play here in the third quarter. Another end-over-end kick. Takes a stab right at the 22-yard line. Fighting Indians trying to turn the corner. They cannot get around the corner. Great job on his assignment there by Lamar Brewster. And we've got an injured Fighting Indian down. That was the man that was on the return. I believe that was number 7 of Antoine Milner. So he'll go to the sideline under his own power. So they will spot the ball at the 10-yard line. So the Fighting Indians will have to go 90 yards to try to answer this touchdown that the Capos, just scored. And we'll see what Ashton Hauser starts off with. Wide doubles here. Hauser hands it off to his back. Helmet's on the ground. Nowhere to go, and what are they going to call? The Capos want a safety, but it's going to be forward progress stopped, I think, right before the end zone. And this defense for the Capos has found some life. So loss of 5 on the play brings up 2nd down and 15 here for the Fighting Indians. And running back on the field is Sircoy Gray. Hauser takes the snap. Will throw it across the middle. Has a man caught across the middle, across the 20, dragged down at around the 23, mark him at the 24, and that's a Fighting Indian first down. That was Elijah Hadley with the catch. And after the 5-yard loss that was in dangerous territory, they get all of that back plus about an extra 4 yards. Needed 15, they got 19. Sircoy Gray trying to bounce it outside, gets away for the moment and cannot get free. Dragged down at about the 19. So the first play on 1st and 10, each time on this drive has been a 5-yard loss. So we'll see how the Capos respond here. Gave up a 19-yard catch and run couple plays ago, excuse me. 7.5 to play here in the third quarter. It was trips left. One of the receivers, that was Milner, tried to toss something to the sideline. Hauser going deep, has a man down there. Oh my goodness, he caught it! There is a flag down, but as it stands, that's a first down grab for Hadley. Holy mackerel, what a catch. I think that's going to be a defensive pass interference, which I'm not sure if the Fighting Indians are going to enforce it or what they're going to do. They're going to decline the penalty because, again, emulating NFL rules, that would have been a spot foul anyway. And because of the catch, they get more yards. And either way, it's first down, whether it's a spot foul or it was that catch. So the ball is at the Fighting Indian 47. Capos were missing a man on defense, finally get a man out there before the Fighting Indians break huddle. Hauser hands it off. It's carried there by Tony Dobbs. Gets it right at the 50-yard line for a 3-yard gain. Again, this Fighting Indian offense has had some pretty balanced play calling between running and passing. And it looked like from the first play from scrimmage on this drive that the Capos were going to carry some of that momentum that they got from the touchdown. Hauser hands it off again to Dobbs, and he will get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. Brings up 3rd and 7. That was number 52 of Kevin Morales on the defense for the Capos. Under 5:37 to play here in this third quarter. Clock is ticking. Hauser, back to pass, rolling to his right. Connects, no, dropped. He was looking for Antonio Green Jr. and he dropped it. And that's going to bring up 4th down from the 50. Not sure if Green Jr. would have gotten to that first down marker, but he was going to be within, if I had to guess, within 2 yards. So that takes it, instead of it being a 4th and 2, it's a 4th and 7. If this is a punt attempt, it'll only be the second punt attempt all day for the Fighting Indians, and they faked it. Doubt they'll fake it here, but stranger things have happened in the sport of football. Duverson Paulus is out there. Got one of the Capos players talking to the side judge for this reffing crew. Possibly asking for some clarification on something. Clock stops, 5:17 to play here in the third. So I guess the conversation's over. There was no flag thrown, but it looks like it's going to be a first down Fighting Indians, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what was called, but they spot the football at the 35, so that's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Fighting Indians. So whatever happened in that conversation must have resulted in an unsportsmanlike, because the ball was at the 50, and now it's at the Capo 35. So that'll be a continuation of this drive for the Fighting Indians. So instead of being 4th and 7 and a potential punt, it's now a 1st and 10 for the Fighting Indians. Trips left. Ashton Hauser hands it off. Dobbs. Nowhere to go. Maybe gains a half a yard up to the just maybe a little bit past the original line, the line of scrimmage, but not a whole lot. 2nd and 10. .4:15 to play here in the third quarter. Trips left. 2 receivers to the right. They move their running back, Sir Coy Gray, and they'll toss it to him, trying to come across the left side. Reaches his arm out to about the 34-yard line. Minimal gain on the play. This is going to be a 3rd and 8 for the Fighting Indians. In this Fighting Indians offense in no hurry at all. Up by 11, 17-6 here over the Capos. Again, they're going with trips left. Single receiver out to the right. Sir Coy Gray in the backfield with Hauser. Looks like we have early movement. And tossed over towards the corner. No catch. Makes it incomplete. And we're going, trying to find Elijah Hadley. I thought there might have been some early movement from that left defensive end side. But there was no penalty thrown, so this will bring up 4th down and 8. Fighting Indians keep their offense on the field. 3:03 to play here in the third. They need looks like about the 26, make it the 25. And we got a whistle. False start. So movement up front, back it up 5 yards. Brings up 4th and 13. So Duverson Paulus coming out to attempt the punt. Again, if you remember from that first half, they went for the fake. And we've seen Paulus has speed, but was only able to gain a yard. Anything's possible here. If I'm on that punt return team for the Capos, I'm saying watch the fake. Alert, 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 anything you got to do. But if they do get it off, I'm going to say Peter and get away from the football. There was early movement there. And that's going to be an offsides. So now it went from 4th and 13 to 4th and 8. I think both sides thought the ball wasn't dead. So now it's back to 4th and 8, as that was an offsides on the Capo defense. Again, surprisingly, this Capo team has plenty of time. They got a much-needed touchdown coming out of half. But this Fighting Indian squad just has been burning up this quarter. Fighting Indians showed punt last play. See what they decide to come up with in a mixed bag here. And they will punt it. It's going to be a sky punt. It's going to drop its way down at the bounce at about the 16, down at the 21. And that is where the Capos will take over. So 2:37 left on the third quarter clock. Again, this Capo squad has the time, has the resources. Resources meaning athletes and playbooks and whatever you want to call it, but they've got to get in the end zone to cut this down to at least 5. And sometimes the hardest win of a season is that first one. Coach Bargerstock spoke very highly of his defense when we talked to him before the game. Can the offense get it going? About a 3-yard run, maybe 2.5 there for Lacavius Simmons, number 23. 2nd and 8 from the 24. Two minutes to go here in the third. 2nd and 8 for the Capo offense. Kelly throws a screen. It's caught around the outright side. That was complete to number 80 of Johnny Athelis. And that's enough for a Capo first down. And they had less than 10 first downs an entire first half. Again, all they need is a little bit of momentum here, and this game gets flipped upside down. Or should I say, even better, flipped in the other direction. Kelly throws it on the outside again. Same receiver. And he picks up another first down. Make that 5 first downs in this quarter alone. They had 4 for the entire first half. Sometimes you talk about second half adjustments. But honestly, what got this thing going was that first play fumble coming out of half. And the Capos taking advantage of the short field. 20 seconds to play in the third quarter. Kelly, back to pass. Throws across the middle. It's complete. Up to the 45-40. Down to the 35-30. And run out of bounds at about the 27. And another Capo first down. And that is how the third quarter will end. First down grab by Zay Towns. We've seen 45 minutes. We've got 15 more to go. We'll be right back here on Varsity Sports Nation, fourth quarter, when we return. Welcome back to Varsity Sports Nation here in Boynton Beach, Florida. Palm Beach Capos have one more quarter to try to launch a comeback. We'll start with a run here to start the fourth quarter. That was LaCavia Simmons on the run. We just got this stat for you. Tyler Kelly has has 5 completed passes in this second half. 4 of them were for first downs, and 1 was for a touchdown. He had 3 total completions the entire first half. That one was dropped for an incompletion. I'll just call that what that is. That was announcer jinx on my part. We're trying to go to number 7 of Bamigbola Adiame. And that'll bring up third down, and it looks like 8 yards from the, I believe, the 26. So the 18-yard line is the line to gain for the Capos. And this is 4-down territory here. Kelly gets that pass batted down. That was Vontravius Richardson with the bat down. And this brings up 4th down. South Vero Beach Fighting Indians had 17 unanswered points in that first half. They bled most of that third quarter, did not come up with any score. Credit to the Capo defense. But now the offense has to do some heavy lifting here. There's a flag down. Kelly rolling to his right, throws to the end zone, and it is intercepted. Wherever there is a flag down, I think it was actually dropped. Oh my goodness, they're going to say it's offsides. Because you saw the defensive end for the Fighting Indians say, hey, he moved. But they're going to say it's offsides. Huge penalty mark. Another flag comes in. So if they're keeping NFL rules as close as they can, if that's an unsportsmanlike, that should be the second one on Jonathan Tucker. And in the NFL, 2 of them you are tossed, but we'll see what the flag is. There's already an offsides call. I think the call was for a sideline warning. But I think they are going to keep it because the ball goes down to the 21. So there is an unsportsmanlike. Oh, there's 2 of them. So only one unsportsmanlike penalty. There was an offsides and an unsportsmanlike stacked on top of each other. So 20 yards in penalties after the pick was caught in the end zone. So wipe the pick away, and the ball is at the 11. Kelly throws it to the right corner, and he overshot his receiver by about 7 yards. 2nd down and 10 for the Capos. They were trying to find Fabian Lee in that left corner, number 88. So 2nd and 10 for the Capos. Wide doubles. Kelly rolling to his right, has a man there. Can he sprint in? He gets to the 2, to the 1. Touchdown, Capos! Smash that football down. It's 17-12. Michael Mobley. Mr. Michael Mobley cuts it to 5. And we got ourselves a football game here in Boynton Beach, Florida. Capos will line up to go for 2. Kelly rolling to his right, gonna take it. No, he's gonna throw it. Is it complete? Yes, it is! The 2-point try is good. Complete to number 11, Fred Taylor Jr. And it's 17-14. The Capos have scored 14 unanswered. How about that? Down 17-0 to start the second half. The South Vero Beach Fighting Indians were starting with the football. This whole, whatever you want to call it, was started off of a fumble recovery on the first play from scrimmage. That resulted in the touchdown. They kicked the point after, did not make it. The Fighting Indians burned most of the clock in that third quarter. But this Capo defense has not given up all game. They've made mistakes, they've had penalties, but they have been capitalizing on Fighting Indian mistakes here in the second half. With 13:50 to go here in the fourth, this is anybody's football game. And you kind of feel that momentum has shifted over to this Capos squad. Vidal Bolanos out to kick for the Capos. Deep kick fielded at about the 11-yard line. And tackled around the 21. Tackle was made by number 80 of Johnny Athelus. Nowhere to go. Not too much area to go for Speedy Knowles Jr. But let's not forget, this South Vero Beach Fighting Indians squad is used to close games. First game of the season against the Fort Pierce Bengals. Final score was 3-2. And in their game last week on Valentine's Day against the Florida Marines, it was 12-10 entering the fourth quarter before they won it 22-10. Hauser in trouble, shakes one tackler, can't shake the second man, and pounding his fist into the ground. Number 20 of Eric Evans. Also in on the tackle was Tyshawn Etienne, number 90. Loss of 4 on the play. Give credit where credit's due. Tracy Bean making Ashton Hauser uncomfortable back there on that play. Hauser, incomplete. And who else was back there? Mr. Tracy Bean forced an errant throw, and it's third down. Our setup is on the Capos side of the field, and you can just feel the energy and the enthusiasm coming from that sideline. It was all Fighting Indians in that first half. We've got a quad stack on the right side. Hauser throws it across the middle, and that's complete for a first down. Speedy Knowles Jr. with the catch. And that'll move the chains. So Ashton Hauser able to find an open man. Keeps the drive moving. Burns the time off the clock. Fighting Indians trying to use up as much of this drive as they can and try and get some points out of it. That'll be a run across the 35 down to the 37. That's number 6 of Jamonte Hunter. Sets up second, and it looks like 6 yards from the 37. Line to gain is the 44. Or check that. Line to gain is the 43. So 2nd and 6 for the Fighting Indians. Wide doubles. Early movement up front. They don't call it. And the running back gets into space, and he gets enough for a first down. That's number 22, Sircoy Gray. Needed 6 yards. He got 7. They'll spot it at the 44. Again, Fighting Indians have not scored at all this entire second half after putting up 17 points in that first half. Hauser's got two receivers out wide. He'll hand it off again to Sercoy Gray. Gain of 3 up to the 47. And he is just like when you shovel coal into the engine of an old steam locomotive, he's starting to get hot here. I would not be surprised if they hand it off to Sercoy Gray once again. There it is. Up the left side, up to the 50. They'll spot him at the Capo 49. This will bring up 3rd and 3. Line to gain is the Capo 46. Under 10 minutes to play, down to 9:26 to play in this fourth quarter. Capos have scored 14 unanswered here in this second half. 6 points off turnovers. Big down here for the Capo defense. Pass is complete. Up the sideline to the 40, down to the 36. Markham at the 37. That was caught by Tyrick Thompson, who had the first touchdown grab of the game for either team. And this Fighting Indian offense has found some life again. Capos trying to stop the bleeding here. If nothing else, you want to force a field goal try. Fighting Indians are one make, 2 misses, and we got a early flag. Tony Dobbs looked like he had a wide open lane, and it looks like it's going to go against the offense. It's going to be a false start on the Fighting Indians. So big break there for the Capo defense. Make it 1st and 15 from the 42-yard line. Again, a game that looked like it was going to continue going one direction has completely gone another direction. And this was all started by a fumble recovery on the first play from scrimmage in the third quarter. Ashton Hauser. He's got Tony Dobbs to his right. Hauser back to pass. Throws it to his right. It is complete. Shakes a defender up to the 35. Out and around the 32. He put that defensive back on skates. Antonio Green Jr. with the shiftiness. And it's 2nd down. This was 1st and 15, gain of, it looks like, 11 yards. Check that, 9 yards. Second and 6. Wide doubles. Dobbs to Hauser's left. And churning the engines up to the 28. This will bring up 3rd and 1. Third and 1. Fighting Indians, again, just like they did in the third quarter, are bleeding this clock. Down to 6 minutes and 30 seconds to play. Capos trying to force at least, at worst, a field goal try. And movement up front. Looks like it's going to be an offsides. And it is. So movement up front by the Capo defense, and that'll be a 5-yard penalty and a first down for the Fighting Indian offense. Clock stopped, 6:14 to go here in the fourth quarter. Penalty is confirmed by 3 of the 4 referees. First and 10 from the Capo 23. Fighting Indians. Clock is on their side. Hand off to Dobbs. Not a whole lot of room to go. He does get away up to the 15-10. Bouncing off tacklers. Still going. Helmet comes off. I think they're going to blow it dead beforehand. No, it's a touchdown. It's a touchdown. The far ref called a touchdown. The helmet came off at the 2. Tony Dobbs with the grown man run. No score has been put on the board. Again, in the NFL, as soon as the helmet comes off, the play is declared dead. So we'll see what the call is. But if this stands, this is a 23-yard rushing touchdown by Tony Dobbs of the Fighting Indians. There's an injured player for the Capos at the 20-yard line. So it looks like we saw some flags come down after the fact. So it looks like the touchdown does stand. (23-14) is your score. Again, the helmet came off before Dobbs crossed the plane. So the Fighting Indians will come out for the point after. And the man that was down for the Capos was Antonio Allen, number 99, being helped to the sideline by a couple of his teammates. Glad to see he is okay. So no penalty flags. No penalties seem to be committed. And it is 23-14 pending the point after kick. Capos were missing a defensive player. Kick is up. And it is no good. So still a 9-point game. We'll see how much that missed extra point matters towards the end of the game, but as it stands, 5:47 left to play in the fourth quarter. And it's 23-14. Fighting Indians over the Capos. So the kick return team and the kickoff teams trying to get organized here for both of these squads. Again, there was penalty flags tossed at the end of that touchdown. So there was a penalty that was accepted, but it was accepted for the kickoff. So we do know that much. Not sure if it was unsportsmanlike or if it was a personal foul. But nonetheless, the 15 yards out of the kickoff, Fighting Indians will kick off from midfield. 9-point game. Capos need 2 scores and at least 1 stop for a chance to win. .547, 3 timeouts, and the 2-minute warning. Two deep men back for the Capos. That'll be fielded right around the 2. Running to the right, finds a lane up to the 20, to the 25, cuts back inside. And that'll be a healthy run back to about the 31, and we've got some penalty markers on the field. That's some extracurriculars after the play. And it looks like it's going to be a penalty on the Fighting Indians. But again, we'll see what comes as that. So the penalty, from what we can hear echoing on the field, is it's a personal foul, late hit out of bounds on the Fighting Indians. Coach Pryor for the Fighting Indians just wants an explanation. Got one of the Fighting Indian players shouting it. And we might have some extracurriculars here. Both sides having to be contained here. All right, so with that being said, 1st and 10 from the 50. Kelly rolling to his right. Down the field, and that'll be overthrown. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. And the Capos were trying to make a substitution on the offensive line. They're trying to sub out number 53 of Denovio Carroll, he said, no, I'm staying in. Kelly with the deep pass, and there's a late flag. I think that's going to be a spot foul. Big penalty. It's going to be a defensive pass interference, it looks like. So defensive pass interference on the Fighting Indians. So it's just going to be a 15-yarder, not a spot foul. So now 1st and 10 from the 35. And now we've got a whistle. So instead of a 15-yarder, they're going to change it to a spot foul. So I believe the football is spotted at the 21. So an extra 14 more yards added to the play. Kelly to the left side. Missed his receiver. On the coverage was number 17 of Terrius Jordan. As some frustrations being vented from the Fighting Indians side of the field. And as I said, when the Capos cut this to 3 when it was 17-14, this is still anybody's game. But Capos have to take advantage of the field that is given to them. Kelly throws across the middle, tipped, and big defensive play. And we've got an injured player down for the Fighting Indians. We'll take a quick break. 5:12 to play here in the fourth quarter here in Boynton Beach. Welcome back to Varsity Sports Nation. Fourth quarter drama here in Boynton Beach, Florida, between the Palm Beach Capos and the visiting South Vero Beach Fighting Indians. Once again, my name is Conrad Volch. 23-14, 5:12 to play. Anybody's football game. Kelly on third down. Throws it towards the right corner and overshot his receiver. So this should bring up 4th down and 10 for the Capos. I think it was fourth. Yeah, there we go. 4th down. I was wondering if the Capos were going to call for a field goal, but they're going to keep their offense on the field. So 5:06 to go. Wide doubles here. Running back for the Capos is Lacavius Simmons. They're going to motion one of the receivers to the left side to make it trips. Kelly rolling to his right. Throws it up in the air, and it's caught, but way out of the back of the end zone. And that'll be a turnover on downs. So 4:54 to play in the fourth. The Fighting Indians will take over. Ball spotted at their own 21. Again, Capos have all 3 timeouts. And that was a big drive. They were aided by penalties and some big plays as well. But they will have to go back to work on defense. Ashton Hauser hands it off, and that's stuffed in the backfield by that defense. First one there, I believe, was Stephen Lewis, number 32. And that'll bring up 2nd down, loss of 2 on the play. Clock continues to move. We'll see how long Coach Bargerstock waits to start using timeouts. I would think he'd want to save them as much as he can. Hauser. Pass is caught and stepping out of bounds at around the 27. That was caught by number 23 of Jamal Sweet. Called his name a couple times tonight. Brings up 3rd and 7. So a big 3rd down here for both sides. And the defense for the Capos, a little unorganized here. They get lined up last second. Hauser being chased, gets the ball away. It's tipped, nearly intercepted, and there's a penalty flag down at the 32-yard line. Waiting for the call. I think they're signaling it's going to be on the defense. Oh, I'm not sure about that one. They're calling pass interference on the defense. I am not sure about that one. Just my opinion, but I don't know about that one. So with that penalty, it brings up a fresh set of downs for the Fighting Indians. Hauser Hands it off. Another stop in that backfield. And that'll be the first timeout called here for Brent Bargerstock. We'll take a quick break. 3:35 to play. It'll be second and about 13 when we return here on Varsity Sports Nation. Still fourth quarter drama here in Boynton Beach, Florida for UFLX Week 3 action between the Palm Beach Capos and the visiting South Vero Beach Fighting Indians. 3:35 to decide it. Second and 13 for the Fighting Indians. They'll hand it off again. Gets about to the 31. Another quick timeout for Brent Bargerstock. He'll have one remaining. We'll keep it here, but yeah, we again got the opportunity to talk to both coaches before the game. Coach for the Fighting Indians, Coach Pryor, said that one of the things they've been trying to do is trying to get some familiarity with their roster. A lot of new guys, got some guys that haven't played the sport of football in about 6 to 7 years. They treat every game like it's the same, whether it's a undefeated team or a team that hasn't won. And their biggest thing is keys to the game. Got to contain Kelly, which they have done pretty well. The offensive line's got to block, and they've got to be good on special teams. Third down, Hauser, diving attempt, and oh my goodness, they call it. It's a catch. Are they going to call that a first down? I don't know. He looked like he went out of bounds at least a yard short on that one. And they do call it a fourth down. So it's not 1st and 10. In fact, it's actually they're going to spot it at the 41. So it's not 4th and 1. It's going to be fourth and about 2.5. Is this a... So they're going to... Looks like the Fighting Indians are going to come out and punt. Or do we have a timeout? So this will be a timeout for the Fighting Indians. They'll have 2 remaining with 2.5 to play. But yeah, talked to Coach Pryor of the Fighting Indians. Also got to talk to Coach Brent Bargerstock for the Capos. And he said he was real impressed and encouraged by the buy-in. He said last week against the Bulls, they struggled with a little bit of effort and some assignments on special teams. But he was encouraged that he said this was the best mental week that his team had all season. Granted, still early in the season. But saw some decent fight tonight. And, again, still trying to fight for a chance to trying to come home with a W tonight. 2.5 minutes to play. And it looks like the Fighting Indians are going to go for it's going to be a offensive play up the middle, still going down to the 30, 25-20, dragged down at the 18-yard line. Jamal Sweet, number 23, with a huge run. On 4th down and 3. And that's going to take it in to the red zone, and this should move the clock down to the 2-minute warning. Wow. That was a designed run on 4th down and 3. Play went for over 55 yards. We'll take a quick break. 2-minute warning here in the fourth quarter. Fighting Indians trying to ice it here in Boynton Beach. We'll be right back here on Varsity Sports Nation. Welcome back to Varsity Sports Nation here in Boynton Beach, Florida, at Somerset Canyons, home of the Palm Beach Capos. Another designed run. Nowhere to go in that backfield. And the Fighting Indians trying to do what they can as we've got an injured player down for the Capos. And we'll take a break. We'll be right back here on Varsity Sports Nation. Injury timeout. Welcome back to Varsity Sports Nation. UFLX Week 3 here in Boynton Beach, Florida. Injured player for the Capos was the defensive end number 1 of Tracy Bean, and he had to be helped off by 2 of his teammates. Hope he's okay. Don't want to assume, but I couldn't tell if he was grasping at his arm / his shoulder or his leg, but he was in a lot of pain going to the sideline. So the Fighting Indians will go into victory formation. And that looks like that is how this game should end. And clock's still ticking. 75 seconds to go. 3rd down and 13. And you're going to have to snap it with about 40 seconds. And they don't have Hauser out there. They have Sircoy Gray doing the knees. So 4th down. And it just looked like the Capos finally found something in that 3rd quarter. Going into the 4th, and they cut it to 3 points. Less than 2 minutes into the 4th quarter, and then the Fighting Indians got their groove and started bleeding that clock. And the Fighting Indians will go for it on this 4th down. And they will not get it, so that'll be no, they're going to just roll the clock, and that's going to be the end. So that is how the game will end. Final score here from Boynton Beach. South Vero Beach Fighting Indians 23, and the Palm Beach Capos 14. Capos fall to 0-3, and the Fighting Indians will move to 3-0. But hard-fought battle between both of these squads in the Extreme Conference for UFLX. But that is how this Week 3 matchup will end. The Fighting Indians started out with 17 unanswered points in that first half. Then the Capos had 14 unanswered. And then the Fighting Indians had 1 more touchdown. And that is how this game will end. Well, that'll do it for us here for Varsity Sports Nation here in Boynton Beach, Florida. And final score here at Somerset Canyons. Fighting Indians 23 and the Capos 14. This has been UFLX Week 3 here on Varsity Sports Nation. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Bye-bye.
Varsity Sports Nation. Unleash the champion within.